through the belts, like when people stagnate the most? As far as I know, the biggest stagnation is the blue belt. So it's the hardest one to get is the purple belt. Is that true, or is that what you think? Or
I think it depends on per person. Like, I think if you're doing jiu-jitsu to get the belts, I think that's going to be the wrong approach.
Yeah,
and it's probably going to be
true.
like short-lived career.
Yeah.
I think because at the end of the day, jiu-jitsu is kind of tough.
Yeah.
You're physically going against another person physically. You got to be doing it for another reason. But I think it's all got to be a little bit of a journey. We got to look at the belts like white to blue. That's where you're just it's not even a development. It's just a basic understanding of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
And then your blue to purple is what I would want to see is like the development of your game. Let's see what strategies you're putting together. Now we should be looking at like certain like, all right, if I'm gonna pass, I want to see what you're gonna do with that pass after. And then if he defends, I want to see you have an answer for that defense. Or if somebody's attacking you, I want to see you have an answer and stuff like that, And then, so it might take a little bit longer, right? It depends on each person. And then your purple to brown, that's when we start seeing your game plan being used. That's what most people would want to see. And we want to see you attacking and seeing you starting to submit these higher belts, these brown belts. Maybe black belts. Maybe you're attacking black belts and seeing how you do with them. And then the brown belt is basically about cleaning up the game, being more precise, really having a game plan with it, going from sequence to sequence, have a basic more than a basic understanding of all of jiu-jitsu. And brown belt's usually the quickest belt.
Yeah,
you get the black belt quite fast.
That's what I heard as well.
Yeah, and then black belt. I mean, now that I'm a black belt and I've been a black belt for 6 years, I never actually looked at getting a black belt because I was just obsessed with MMA. So the black belt kind of just came with that journey. But being a black belt now is like, I wish I had the mindset. Or like just being excited to be a white belt because you get to experience, you get to develop your whole jiu-jitsu game without having any skills yet, and you get to like build a really nice foundation in jiu-jitsu where people sometimes don't concentrate on the foundation they're building, and then it gets like it's very rough at you. It's a lot harder. So it's like being a white belt. That's such an exciting part if you really
and
like
very important part.
Super
foundation
important.
Just like foundation for building a house.
Yeah, exactly.
You
Build
rush
this.
and then goes just all over the place.
Exactly. And you'll find that out in the later years. So it's like build that foundation, be curious about it, and don't care about it.
100%. 100%. And it's like in a very I once in a while I said to Anthony, it's like, why am I not getting another stripe on my white belt? And he was like, "Oh, just shut up." Just
Who's this?
you.
Oh yeah.
Who's this? But at the same time, like I have so much experience with being with the belt stuff, right? When I did judo, I remember as soon as you get higher belt, you almost like, oh shit, the lower belt just kicked my ass. It's like, do I want there? Like, was I rushed there? With karate, when I used to compete in European level, I used to go into these competitions, and I remember I had a blue belt and I kicked the ass to brown belt, and then I realized like no one gives a fuck what kind of belt you have. What can you show me on the on the mat? And the only thing what I think is good about the belt system is like especially when you come to the club, you've never been there before, you at least can be like, okay, that's a purple belt, so they understand what is going on. There's a more chance of that. But it's annoying when, even though we say like we leave our egos outside the club or in front of the door, whatever, but so often you see whenever the grading is happening, as soon as someone gets the belt or whatever, they just like, oh yeah, you see I'm fucking blue belt.
Is it?
Yeah.
At our gym?
Yeah, you can see that. But it's it feels like just the guys who are, I don't know.
I think for me, I'm always excited to give somebody their belt.
Oh yeah.
Like it's very exciting to like see how happy they are. But I hope for the most part, we don't want to give belts to boost anybody's ego. The belt is given because they really deserve it. So.
Did you hear this thing I was just recently saw on one of the podcasts? They were talking that I don't know if it's other countries in the world, but in States there's certain gyms where they basically right when you become part of the member, they say, oh, if you come this amount of hours, you're gonna get this belt. You get this amount of hours, you're gonna get that belt, which is mainly obviously about money.
That happens.
You know?
Yeah, I mean, I know I know a lot of gyms that do that, and the more students you get, the harder sometimes it is to keep track. We're very loose with it here at Bali MMA, but we do have a lot of students, but it's more of a transit place, right? We have like maybe right now we have more people staying here than ever. I've never had like because you people students.
Have just come and go
It's
all the time.
always been like that. So you have like 40 people classes, 35 of them are just come and goers. Now is the time where we've had the most amount of like retained. We've been just retaining people.
What do you think about? So now I'm going to London, and I will try to join. We have a couple of gyms around. I'll figure out which one I want. So let's say like right now I have one stripe on my white belt. So if I arrive there, so I say like I did Bali MMA. Yeah. So this is what my one stripe or whatever. How do they take? Like how would they be? Do they try to assess me? What they would look at me like how I do stuff, and then they can give me whether they're gonna give me promotion, not give me promotion in the future. Like what do you do when you get someone just with a blue belt rock up to your gym? Obviously to assess first, you look at their skill set, and then you see if when you're gonna give them next promotion.
Okay, yeah, I mean that's a tough one. You have to. It's just about communication. Actually, it's not tough at all. You gotta. For now, what I do, which I didn't know this before, I didn't know people would want me to grade them. So I would just never. If somebody came into my gym as a blue belt that I'd never seen before, he's not my blue belt, so I'm just not going to grade him. But now what I do is I'll talk to them after they've been there a couple times, 5-10 times. I'll be like, hey, who's grading you? Are you how long are you here for? Or are you looking to be graded here, or are you staying with your instructor? For me, it doesn't matter. But like I've had a blue belt here for like almost 2 years, and we never graded him, and we find out that he's kind of going to be here for a while. So then it's your responsibility as the instructor to find these things out. So, but if you're going anywhere to a new gym, just train. Just keep on training, and then a month or two. Nobody said you gotta let the coach know or the instructor know, like after a month, be like, hey, I'm gonna stay here.
Have you ever heard of the story that you come in with a blue belt or purple belt and the instructor is like stripping you off that belt? Is that? I
know gyms that are very traditional that if you're a purple belt, but you're not a purple belt with them, they might give you a white belt. Yeah.
Wow.
I think it's rare more now, but if you go to a traditional school, I think you could run into those problems.
Right.